Welcome back into Scotting Movies, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about a movie that makes you laugh so hard that you kind of miss the next line. You're too busy choking on your own laughter. This movie is so funny. It's right up there with A Fish Called Wanda for one of the funniest films of the year. This is called Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, starring Michael Caine and Steve Martin. Uh, so, I mean, if you've never seen Steve Martin bring a trident to dinner, or lick his own fork, playing an emotionally disturbed man named Ruprecht, you're in for a treat. So let's talk about what Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is about. It's set on the sun-kissed shores of the French Riviera. It follows two con men, one a refined, cultured gentleman, played by Michael Caine, and the other a loud, crass goofball played by Steve Martin, as they compete to swindle a wealthy American woman out of $50,000. As the cons get bigger and the lies get bolder, it becomes clear that the real game isn't about money, but it's about who can outswindle the other and walk away the king of grifters. It's classy, it's ridiculous. It's basically James Bond meets Looney Tunes, and somehow it works beautifully. So let's be clear, first of all, this movie is funny. It's not in a cheap gag, fart jokes kind of funny. This is high caliber comedy. The laughs are crafted. Two sequences I want to talk about in particular. There's the iconic Ruprecht scene where Steve Martin is training under Michael Caine's character, trying to learn the art of swindling, the art of being the con man. He goes full method as Caine's fake deranged brother Ruprecht, complete with a cork on his fork, a blank stare that should honestly be framed in a museum. He has a trident that he brings to dinner. He has these tantrums. It's unhinged completely, but in the most precise way. And then later on, when they're actually competing to see who can outswindle the other, Steve Martin's character plays a paralyzed version of a veteran of the United States military. He's not paralyzed from a wound. He's paralyzed because he saw his fiance dancing with the doctor that he was seeing, and he can no longer get himself to move, which is funny enough by itself. But Michael Caine plays a doctor, Dr. Emil Schaffhausen, who tests him, wants to break him out of his funk, and is trying to show that he can walk by repeatedly beating his legs with canes. And Steve Martin's face during the scene is comedy sculpture. I'm talking pure slapstick zen. Buster Keaton would weep. It is so funny to see him continuously hitting Steve Martin with this cane and then Steve Martin's reactions. It's straight out of Young Frankenstein. The chemistry here between these two lead actors. The movie lives and dies by its leading duo, and guys, it lives. Michael Caine brings this calm, collected, aristocratic energy. He's like a con artist with a PhD in charm. You believe that he could talk a duchess into signing over her estate and then thank him for the privilege. It is that he is that cool and calm and collected. I mentioned earlier a James Bond kind of character. He really kind of plays uh, that to the hilt. He is so good. Steve Martin, meanwhile, plays Freddy Benson. He is chaos incarnate. He is brash. He's loud. It looks like he just tumbled out of a cartoon, but their chemistry is so good in this movie. It's genius level. Together, they're electric. They're not just funny. They're this kind of electric kind of comedy. The straight man versus the wild card. It's comedy chemistry at its best. Every time that they're on screen together, the movie just lifts up. It sings. It's so good. The third act performance that I want to call out in this movie is Glenn Headley, who plays the woman who's kind of caught between them, trying to swindle her out of $50,000 each, trying to um, up the ante uh, and everything else. And at first, she seems like this innocent tourist caught in the middle of a rich man's ego contest. As the story unfolds, let's see, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but let's just say that she's not who you think she is. Uh, Her performance is deceptively good. She plays sweet so well that when the movie turns the tables, you feel every single shift. The twist, it doesn't just land, it redefines the entire movie. It's the kind of ending that makes you want to immediately start it all over again and catch the clues that you missed from her performance. Um, the style of the movie, substance and style, this is what kind of sets it apart from your average 80s comedy. This thing has style and spades. Frank Oz is the director, and he directs it with a light touch. He's never too flashy. He lets the performances breathe. Every shot feels deliberate. Uh, he knows how good the punchline is going to be, and he's going to let that punchline come through. The score is by Miles Goodman, and it's riffing on a Henry Mancini theme because it's actually based on a French film that Henry Mancini scored. It's pure fizzy charm. It bubbles underneath the whole film like champagne. And the costumes are impeccable. The French Riviera backdrops are dreamy. This is a polished looking film. It looks expensive, and it earns it. The script is by Dale Launer, Stanley Shapiro, and Paul Henning. It's really tight. It's smart. It's filled with zingers. Like I said, there are so many jokes in this movie that you're gonna miss the next one because you're laughing so hard at the previous one. What I love most is it's so clever, but it doesn't act like it's trying to be that. It just really is. Uh, it it feels really polished from a screenwriter's perspective. The pacing moves like clockwork. It's smooth. It's slick. It's always one step ahead of you as the viewer. By the time you get to the final act, the final twist, it all clicks into place like the last piece of a puzzle you didn't know was missing. Uh, there are so many good things about this movie. The way that it looks, the way that it's written, the way that it's directed, and especially the way that it's performed. Um, Final thoughts. It's a rare comedy here that delivers on every single level. It's smart, it's silly, it's gleefully rewatchable, infinitely so. Um, Steve Martin and Michael Caine are this comedy dream team that you wouldn't have expected coming from these two actors. You know Michael Caine can do comedy, but he for the most part he does more serious roles, and so seeing him in this role is fun. It's so much fun, and he doesn't play obviously the guy that is much more off the walls like Steve Martin is, and he brings this perfect kind of um, performance to that role. Glenn Headley then sneaks in and steals the whole thing right from under them. That ending, man, that belongs in the Twist Hall of Fame, right next to The Sixth Sense and The Usual Suspects. You know, with more corks and cutlery and screaming. uh, so, what grade am I going to give Dirty Rotten Scoundrels? It is one of the best comedies of the year, right up there with A Fish Called Wanda. I'm giving it an A. Uh, if you're watching with a good crowd and others, it could be an A+ for you. It's that rare blend of smart and stupid, elegant and absurd, where every scene is either making you laugh or setting up the next one to completely obliterate you. So, have you seen Dirty Rotten Scoundrels? Do you agree with me here? Do you agree with me that it's one of the funniest films of this year of 1988, maybe of the entire 80s? Uh, What's the funniest scene from the movie? Let me know. Have I called it out with Ruprecht or Dr. Emil Schaffhausen? Uh, what what's your favorite comedy movie? If you've ever seen Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, do yourself a favor. Cancel tonight's plans. Go watch Steve Martin ruin a fancy dinner while wearing a sailor suit. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Uh, know when I'm putting out these videos. And until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.